This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for the FAANG stocks. This was recommended by one of the viewers, and I think it's a great idea to go over the most popular stocks all in one video. If we get a lot of support and positive feedback, I can do one of these every week. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. Also, thank you to those who already subscribed and like my videos. It means a lot. Just a reminder that this video is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute any financial advice. We will start out the technical analysis by going over what I see in the daily chart and potential price targets. So we're going to go in order of the FAANG stocks. So the first one will be Facebook, then Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and then we'll finish off with Google. So for Facebook, it looks like there was a spike in channel up. This was the spike right here. And then it went inside of a flatter channel because this spike was too steep, and this is the flatter channel I was talking about right here. And if I just pull it up, it fits really nicely. Price action bounces off the lows and then bounces off the highs. So what is it doing in the near term right around here? So it looks like price just broke outside of a small range. So if price breaks outside of a range, it normally breaks outside on the other side, because the market is symmetrical. If it does something on one side, it likes to do the same thing on the opposite side. So let me just zoom in a little bit more. So as you can see here, price was going sideways for the past week, and then this green bar popped out, but it failed, and then it's the shorts came in and stopped them out, and we broke out on the lower side. So we could potentially bounce at the support side of the channel like we did before numerous times. However, we could also make two legs down, which would be right here. This would be the first leg down, and then this would be the second leg down, which is very likely also, just because it looks like we had two legs up, and that would be the center of the pattern. So it looks like Facebook, I think, could pull back to the 336 level, and that also makes sense because there's a breakout right here, and it looks like it wants to test it again. It looks like price was going sideways for a couple of weeks, and then price broke out of it right here, and then we slowly came back to test it right around here. So it looks like it wants to test it again. So that's a pretty good target for Facebook to reach if it doesn't find support at this channel line. This is where I see Facebook going. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and show you guys the target that I see Facebook reaching. So this was the first leg up right here. We're going to use the measured move tool, which will be the arrow. And then this is the second leg up right here, and it pretty much a perfect measured move, and that's why we sold off right here, and it was on the upper side of the channel, and it looks like we're gonna go to the lower side channel or this 336 level. So now if Facebook continues to trend higher, where can I go? I need to zoom out more on the chart, and I see this leg in play right here. This is the first leg up right here, and then if I just drag it over, this looks like the second leg. So I can see Facebook reach this target right here. If it finds support at the channel or the 336 level, it's probably going to continue higher to make a new high and stop the shorts out that went short right here. And this target right now is at the, let me take a look, it looks like the 409 level. I'm going to put a horizontal line there. There you go. That's my analysis for Facebook. It looks like we went sideways for about a week. We broke out, we failed at the top side. We're probably going to fail at the bottom side and find support at the channel, but most likely we will probably make two legs down to the 337 level or 336 level, and if we find support there, we're probably going to continue higher and make a new high at the very least, at least test the high or make a new high, and then we could probably keep on trending higher to this 411 level. Well, we just got to take it day by day and see what happens, because we could just fall right through this floor and continue lower, but we're just thinking in probabilities right now, and most likely that's the analysis I can see play through. So let's take a look at Apple. So Apple looks like it's inside of this channel right here. It also made a spike in channel, but this one's a little wider one. That's where we're seeing bigger swings inside of it. So looks like price failed outside of this breakout right here, because price was going sideways and we were finding the same highs. However, we were making higher lows. Let me zoom in right here. You can see a little better. So it looks like Apple was making the same highs, and then we were making higher lows. However, then we had this breakout, so it pretty much failed because it couldn't go up higher to the upper side of the channel. So it's not really a good sign for Apple. I tried to go up like 2 or 3 times already. So if the market does something twice and it fails, probably gonna most likely do the opposite. So where can I see Apple fall? Looks like Apple since it looks like this failed breakout was not a good breakout, and we could fall back to the lower side of the range, which would be like the low 40s is my target for Apple in the short term. I'm gonna go ahead and do another measured move for this stock too, and the measured move I see Apple that potentially reach would be this one right here. This is the first leg up, and if I just move it over, then this would be the second leg, the 156 level, or I believe I did the analysis before. It was about the 156 157 level. I'm gonna put a horizontal line there as well, and it was the upper side of the channel. However, we might not reach this target anymore because we just we tried to go up multiple times but failed, and we just had this failed breakout that trapped in the longs, and we could just fall back down to the lower side of this range, or just even to this channel right here, this 130 level. However, just gonna go day by day and see if it finds support here or not. If it doesn't, we're gonna fall through. And also, it's really not a good sign for the longs because it looks like this uptrend channel is already played out. This is the channel I'm talking about right here. I'm gonna go ahead and change the color. Let's make it blue so you can see it against the red. So this blue channel right here is already played out, which would be the uptrend channel. It's already played out because if we get bars closing outside and it goes up higher at the highest point, that pretty much marks the end of the uptrend. This pattern repeats many times on numerous charts. So we had a break outside and a move to a new high, and now we're seeing reversal. So I don't know how far the reversal can go down. If we don't find support at the low 40s, we're probably going to continue lower, probably to the 135 level, because there's a lot of we could probably see a bounce over here because it broke out over here. Now let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon's kind of an unfortunate stock because it couldn't make a successful breakout. So these are the lows of the range, and if I just drag it up, these are the highs right here. So we had this breakout right around here. I'm going to put an arrow. So we had this breakout because it broke outside of this range. However, we came back to test it too, right, which is a good sign. However, it failed and price just collapsed back inside of the range, which is not a good sign. And then we could even, the price was too weak to come back and fill in this gap that it created because there was a huge gap right here caused by the earnings. So we couldn't even create that. So what it looks like Amazon could do is reach the lower side of the range, or even possibly break it. Since we had this breakout on the upper side of the channel, it probably can lead to a breakout on the lower side of the channel. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this measured move and show you how accurate this was. So this was the first leg up, and then we pretty much made a perfect measured move. We reached the target right there around that 3775 level, and then price just sold off. So really not a good sign what Amazon did back there. It tested the range highs, which is good because price action likes to test the breakouts at least 90% of the time, and it can't try to come back for the second time. However, it was super weak, and then they just created this earnings to gap over that line right here, this level, this $3,500 level, and then just continue lower. So I see Amazon reaching the lower side of the range if it does not find any support anywhere in between the range. But most likely we could also I see breaking the channel or the range outside. So let's go ahead and take a look at Netflix. So Netflix is pretty much the same pattern as Amazon. See what I'm talking about? This range, it just goes from the highs to the lows and the lows to the highs. So it's pretty much very expected of what's going to happen. Well, like, we couldn't meet the highs here, so we're probably going to go back to the lows. However, we're right in the middle of the range. See this dotted line, this dashed line? So that's the middle of it, and usually that's pretty much where like the traps happen and the choppiness happen. That's why we've just been going sideways since pretty much July. It's not really doing anything, right? So these spots are really hard to tell what price is going to do, because this is where you can end up getting trapped and lose your money, right? If you're a trader, you kind of just want to sell the highs and buy the lows if you're trading a range. But over here, since it's smaller, you want to do the same thing. However, a lot of traps can occur right here because it's just not that much movement. So in the short term, I could see Netflix just go back to the 510 level because we're at the upper side of this small range. However, that's hard to tell because we're just going sideways, but most likely we'll probably reach the lower side of this range, this small little range that it's in. And then if we do break out lower and continue lower, we're probably going to reach this measured move. So what price could do is trap out the shorts right here, probably pop up to like the 530 level because it's a counter trend breakout, and then smack down and trap them in, trap out the buyers, and then use their stops as fuel to continue lower. So this looks like one leg down right here, and then if we continue lower from, if this was the highs right here, we could reach that 475 level. So we just gotta wait and see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna create that trap for the longs and then push it down lower? It would make sense because it looks like Netflix also wants to make this second leg down, because this is the first leg down right here and this is the second leg down. So this pretty much looks like one leg down, two leg down, and then we had a correction up, and then if we continue lower, this is where price wants to reach. So it's pretty much back to the lows of the range, and this measure move also points to the lows of the range, so that we have confluence. So we just have to wait and see what they want to do. But my analysis is we're probably going to go lower, but it could do anything though, because we're in the middle of it. It's not really trending, you know, like Apple was. We're just going up, or even the other stock, Facebook, I believe, it was just trending up. That's easier to see where we're going, right? We're going higher. But over here, since we're just going sideways, it could just pop up back right around here to the highs of the range and then continue lower, or we could just break it up this time. It's just hard to tell. We just got to go day by day. But what I see happening is we had that one leg down, and we could create that trap on the range, upper side of the range, and then continue lower to make that second leg. So that's my analysis for Netflix. And let's take a look at the last stock, which is Google. So Google is what you call a pretty powerful trend. You never want to short these type of markets, these type of patterns. You just want to buy with the trend. So whenever price reaches the lower side of the channel, that's pretty much when you buy. See, this is what I'm talking about when people say buy the dips. These are dips right here. We get the pullback to the channel, right? Because what did it do previously? Every time it came to this level right here, we saw this bounces. We saw a bounce. We saw a bounce, right? So these are the dips in an uptrend. So that's what they mean when you say buy the dips. So what has been Google doing in the short term? It looks like it's just going sideways like the other patterns, right? It's just going sideways, not really doing much. We're kind of just inside of a small range of 278, the lows, and the high 2790s are the highs. So we're just going sideways in between. So what we could do is probably potentially pull back to the lower side of the channel and maybe get a bounce right here. It also makes sense because there's a gap right here that's not completely filled. It looks like this green bar tried to wick down and fill it. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. So it looks like this green bar right here, right on August 3rd, tried to fill it up. So as I was saying, it looks like on August 3rd, it looks like this green bar tried to fill in the gap, but however, there's still some space left to fill. So it looks like we could just continue sideways for a while, or we could just sell off, make that two legs down, because that's what it looks like right now it's doing. This was the first leg down, and then we had the correction, and then it pretty much comes right to filling the gap and the lower side of the channel. So that's what I see Google doing. I don't see it just going up from here. It looks like we're probably going to come back to the lows of the range around the low 2700s, or probably even break it this time and go to the mid 2600s, but we just have to wait and see. And for the targets, it looks like we pretty much already met them. I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more, and there we go. So this looks like the first leg up right here. I'm going and make this a little thicker looking right here. Let's make it a 3, and let's make it black. There you go. That's the first measure move up, and if I just drag it over, look at what happened. Price went right there and went sideways. It couldn't really go higher, and then it sold off. And now we continued higher, right? So if we continue higher, what is it going to do now? If I just move it over, right where we continue higher, that's pretty much where we're going sideways. So that's pretty much a perfect measure move. So that's why we're seeing a correction right now. Correction does not mean we're just going to dump off like this, or just, you know, trend lower. Correction also means just sideways. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're just going sideways. So sooner or later, we're probably going to break out of these, break out of this sideways action. I don't see it breaking higher. Most likely it's probably going to break lower to fill in this gap and to touch the lower side of this channel. It could break the lower side of the channel, but we just have to wait and see. And if it does break the lower side of the channel, I do expect a retest of the high, and I'm pretty confident about like 95% of the time that usually happens, because this is a very strong trend, and I don't see it just continue back down like that. If it breaks the channel, it's probably going to retest the high or even make a new one. So there you go. That's my analysis for the FAANG stocks. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel since you might be surprised on what you could learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also, share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.